Ndị be anyị keneni m unu. Asị m ka ọ dị n'ala Igbo na mma. Esikwa ka nke e chiri ya zelu. Dịka o si dị, ya bụ Eastern News 24 ka anyị si wetara unu ya bụ ozi, nnukwu ozi dị oke mkpa gbasịta maka ya bụ ife na-eme n'obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya and nwere ụwa a na-azọ n'ala Igbo. N'ụbọchị nke taa anyị wetara unu okwu bụ ihe na-akpa the old Eastern region. Ya bụ okwu anyị wetara unu ụbọchị nke taa site n'aka one of the head na Anambra. So ọ gbagote ọkwa ya gbagote one of the government head lawmaker na Anambra. Ọ nwegasị ife okwu gbasịta maka Maazị Nnamdi Kanu and the start home nke a na-eme and ife ga-eme ka ife wee dị mma. So gee ya bụ ife ka ife o kwuru n'ụdị nke ya fụ alụ ọ tụrụ n'ụdị nke ya gbasịta maka ya bụ ife na-eme na Eastern region and nwere ụwa na-azụ n'ala Igbo. Ana masịta maka Maazị Nnamdi Kanu'S ladies. Ị ga-esi ebe ife dropụrụ ife iche n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụdị nke gị. Alright, over to you, sir.
Nappies and all whatnot. But the story around sit at home is story of hope. Nnamdi Kanu arrest and rendition to Nigeria. People were trying to show their anger, and sit at home was declared. When all this started, I asked, how many of the same brain are in this story? One particular thing about us in Igbo land is that once we see anything about agitation, we withdraw and we plan to be sent. Nnamdi Kanu was not the only one doing agitation, and Sunday was also there, but the leaders of Yoruba nation were part of Sunday agitation. You have to be there, you have to be involved for correction, for direction. In the case of what we are suffering now in Southeast, is abstinence of the same brains. We call them same brain, not that the other side is not sent to, but whereby the leaders are supposed to be involved in the IPOB stuff and give direction, give protection when necessary, and even give extinction when it's needed. Now it's in the hands of the people we can't actually control. They're using it for various things. But having said that, you see, the very vital thing that drives the economy and society is hope. I don't want to dwell in the numbers of how much we have lost and how much we have gained, because I don't trust the data that are coming from Southeast. It can difficultly tax the market. We have not effectively taxed them, so how do we know the figures? But this projection. But what we have lost actually, which is bleeding, is human life, is hope that people have in the system. We have also lost the strong value of words of a governor is supposed to be a law.
Mr. Ambachu, without trying to butt in, just my question was, so that we manage time, the effort of the government, is it far-reaching enough so that we can continue?
I'm hitting there now. The effort of the government is to encourage the citizens to come out. But the citizens are not taking it. Maybe the message was passed wrongly. I heard the governor saying, if you don't open on Monday, we will seal your shop. If security is provided and you encourage people to come out on Monday, be there with them, which the governor is trying to do, I think it's a good one. But what are we doing that are feasible by the political leaders that actually show the people that, okay, this is going to end? We're not seeing it. People are not seeing the effort by the political elite that will show that this will end. We talk about kinetic and non-kinetic approach. What we are seeing is the kinetic approach, non-kinetic approach. What are the senators doing? What are the House of Rep members doing? What are the governors doing? Together, cohesion, not in isolation. What are even us, the House of Assembly members, doing? It's going to be a cohesive approach towards it so that people can see it. Not when A is doing this, B will be telling another story. We have to work together to ask for release of Nnamdi Kanu.
Honorable Nigeria, first of all, we must establish that the indigenous people of Biafra group is a proscribed group, and to that effect, we can also talk about the declaration of Mr. Simon Ekpa'S as a wanted person, his arrest in Finland, and his release. So it's a proscribed group, but you've spoken to some important issues, which is the lack of cohesion among the governors, and that's where I want to dwell on really, because we saw a few months back the governor of Imo State leading other Southeast governors to meet with Mr. President, in fact, including other Igbo leaders to meet with Mr. President on the concern about Southeast security. And I believe the sit-at-home order was one of the huge talking points, I imagine, at the meeting. The question is, why haven't we seen that cohesion among Southeast governors? Is it to do with the fact that this sit-at-home order, sometimes we see it effective in Southeast states like Anambra and Abia and Ebonyi, because the recent ones we have not quite seen in Imo and Enugu. So is there a disconnect among the subnationals in that part of the country?
Well, the South Governors Forum visited the president, and I was expecting them to go further. Did they visit? Did they have conversation? Did they have discussion with maybe representative of the proscribed group? You proscribe them, that does not mean they're not existing. You are the governor of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Nothing stops you from seeing anybody to stop anything. So what we're actually saying is the force is kinetic, carrot and stick approach. Can we give that carrot to these people? How many of these governors knows them? How many of these governors has discussed with them? It's very difficult for you to take out a story that even the originator of the story, Nnamdi Kanu, does not have grip on anymore. Nnamdi Kanu, as from the prison detention, said no more sit at home, but it's not enforcing. All right. Possible. People are still sitting at home.
So that's what you expect to see. More of the carrot approach. That's what you expect to see. Let's take it now to Mr. Mefo, the Honorable Commissioner for Information in Anambra State. You have listened to him. And besides that, was the demand for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, was it top on the agenda in that discourse between Southeast governors and the federal government that was held a few months back? And if not, what is the current state of the demand for his release? And if he's released anyway, will it be the end to this sit-at-home order in the Southeast?
Yeah, it was certainly top on the agenda. And that shows that the issue is beyond the Southeast. The national issue is a political issue. And you just recognized and recalled
Mr. Mefo? Oh.
That,
okay, I think he's back now.
Yeah, I said that it's a political issue, it's a national issue, it's beyond the Southeast. What the Southeast governors should do is what they are doing, putting pressure and working through the back channels. Many of these things cannot be put out in the open in the way and manner many would want it. I'm aware that my own governor is reaching out. He has written letters to the president. He is pushing, and other governors, I believe, are also doing the same. And you see, the issue of sit-at-home is quite delicate, like Honorable Nigeria Mbaju said. Yes, it is. And many people don't even want to discuss it because it's a very emotional one. Many who are sitting at home would want to open their shops, but they also would want to see Nnamdi Kanu released. You know, you can see what may appear to be conflict of interest. And the governor of Anambra State, that is the person I can vouch for, is seriously concerned. I have told you that he has gone to see Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS facility since he was extraordinarily renditioned from Kenya. And he is doing much more. But he also thinks that we need to review the sit at home and begin to really open up the shops and release the Southeast economy, especially on Mondays, as we work on as they work on the diplomatic and political channels to get this sorted out. You know, there are also other reasons, even for my own consideration. When the sit at home started in 2021 August, when they declared what they called the Ghost Monday, I had advised that sit at home would be most effective if we organize it in Abuja, where Nnamdi Kanu is held, where the president of Nigeria is held. That doing it in the southeast, you know, the president, President Tinubu, it doesn't feel it and all that.
Mr.
So,
I have a quick follow-up question to that. If indeed the release of Nnamdi Kanu would move the needle, he himself has said from where he is that there's no more sit at home. He has encouraged Southeast residents to go out on Mondays. So why has that not made any significant impact?
Some people, some of his supporters don't believe what he has said. They believe he did that under pressure, and that is why we are saying release Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. Let him come out, so that once you do so, you will erase that correlation what people are building between the insecurity in the southeast and his incarceration. If he comes out, he will help in restoring peace and order. And those who are using him as an excuse can no longer do so. That will ultimately reduce insecurity in the southeast. That's my belief.
Mr. Mefo, at the end of the day, the bane of this conversation is the economic loss, but more importantly, the lives lost that Mr. Nigerian Bacho has mentioned, because you can't quantify life at the end of the day. So let me take it to Mr. Bacho. Mr. Bacho, let's see how we can diagnose this as effectively as possible. Maybe you will help us. So I don't know whether a study has been carried out to know the mindset of the people. Maybe you can respond. Why do they sit at home? Is it because of solidarity within Nnamdi Kanu, or intimidation by the militia elements, or ineffective assurance from government? What exactly is making people to sit at home, in your view? I'll pose that question to Mr. Mefa as well.
Okay, thank you very much, but you just give me a little time for me to take you through the history lane. From there we can...
Maybe just 2 minutes.
Why people are actually sitting at home. So, first, Nnamdi Kanu came with one of the best stories that people listened to. People felt marginalized, and he was telling them at a point, he is the only non-charismatic, non-religious leader that can actually organize people without paying 1 naira. People gather, people follow him, he has followers, people listen to him. So, at some point, he was arrested. In solidarity, out of will, people said, okay, they declared it at home for him, everybody obeyed. No enforcement. Nobody enforced it. Everybody obeyed, sit at home. Then, there was resistance from the government side. No, we can't be sitting at home, not every Monday. Everybody should go to work, bank should open, this and that and that. Then, the ESN sprung up. Eastern Security Movement. They sprung up and started enforcing sit at home to assure people that the government, they are in charge and not the government. And it was happening. They were killing people, burning things. Everybody enforcing it. I could remember, gradually sit at home was almost gone. It was almost gone. 2 years ago, some banks in Oka were almost opening, markets were opening. During the governor's inaugural speech, he also visited the sit at home. And that sparked it up again. I think what we should do is let's zero publicity on our actions we are doing to bring back Mondays as an active day. Let's zero publicity there. Let's not politicize it. Let's not publicize it. Let's do our work as legislators, executive, or even as the judiciary come together, do their work, and play background so that people will see organically Mondays, everybody will start coming out on Monday because it has happened. 2 years ago, we almost coming out on Monday, part of Monday, Chanoka.
So, Honorable Nigeria,
people don't like when you come confrontational with what they believe in.
All right.
Nnamdi Kanu'S story was a belief. Then secondly, he needs to come out. Everybody, all hands must be on deck for him to come out. A competent court has given him bail. Yes, he's being held in detention now, unconstitutionally. All Igbo, all well-meaning Igbo and Nigerians should be speaking for Nnamdi Kanu to come out. I think if Nnamdi Kanu comes out and say sit at home is over, any other person that you see that is enforcing sit at home can be dealt with as a criminal. That's my take on this.
So in further diagnosing this, we've heard reports about this sit at home, that some audio messages are circulated, video messages are circulated of unidentified people calling for the sit at home. So in further diagnosing it, if people readily comply with this, it shows that there's a level of fear that has been sort of perpetrated in the atmosphere. Who are these people? Let me take you to the Honorable Commissioner now. Do we have an idea of who these people are? And this question is important because the proscribed group has distanced itself from the sit-at-home order, not directly by Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, but by the group itself. A certain name is being quoted, Mr. Emma Powerful. So who are these people?
Yeah, it is quite instructive that the known factions of IPOB, none of them called for the 2-day sit-at-home that just concluded, and that proved effective in many parts of the Southeast. I saw the video. The man I saw there I never saw before, and you know, the fear, like you rightly identified, people believe the man. He made a very wild claims that the Biafra agitators were going to test their newly constructed armored tanks and things like that, and people believed and stayed away. And that Monday particularly, the governor of Anambra State, in his confidence building, had to put on hold the State Executive Council meeting and moved from market to market to encourage people that, look, you just have to come out while we continue our diplomatic maneuvers, back channels, to see that Nnamdi Kanu comes out. Everybody wants him out. And the people who are capitalizing on his detention to perpetrate what they are perpetrating in the Southeast, for me, I see them as criminal elements. They don't like Igbo, because Emma Powerful never, the spokesperson for the IPOB, re-echoed what Nnamdi Kanu himself said, that there is no more sit-at-home. So those who are doing that are no longer doing that in the name of Nnamdi Kanu, because Nnamdi Kanu himself says no sit-at-home. The spokesperson and the leadership of IPOB also said that there's no more sit-at-home. Let me quickly just add this.
Yeah, in just 30 seconds. In 30 seconds.
Yes, in 30 seconds. You see, the effort to bring out Nnamdi Kanu will have to be better orchestrated. The governors, we want the members of the National Assembly to join the governors. They need to form a team, and they shouldn't leave it to the governors alone. They must join forces. They shouldn't wait in the wing for the governors alone to succeed or fail. Doing so will be apathetic. They are not helping the security situation in the Southeast. They have to wake up.
I must thank you so much. At the end of the day, why we brought this conversation to the fore is, again, the loss of lives, the grounding of business and commercial activities on Monday, given the fact that the people are quite industrious, with also due respect to, the intent of the people that are making agitation. But we've also mentioned the fact that the federal government has prescribed IPOP. But we must thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the program. Mr. Lomefo, the Commissioner for Information, Anambra State. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program. We appreciate it. We also want to thank Mr. Henry, Nigeria Henry Mbachu, member representing Oka South 1 constituency. Your name is quite interesting. Is that your government name or is an adopted name? Just in 1 second. I'm just curious.
That's my name.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you for coming on the program as well. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, so we will take a quick break and get to all of the serious issues and now get to our creative industry. For the record, we now have Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism, and Creative Economy. One of the persons in that industry will be joining us. Joining us on the program is Akewe will be right here to explore filmmaking and what it takes. Join us again.
And by Wadaludi Neno, una no gonna one of the former aid, government aid, Nanambra, if you kuniru akwụkwọ na ụdị nke gbasata maka ya bụ ife a ga-eme ka ihe wee dị mma ana gbasata maka nwere onwe ndị Igbo na-azọ ọzọ dị ka ibia bụ ka ife were ikwu gbasata maka ya bụ ife ndị a na-ọtọgasị aka okwu maka start home okwu maka Maazị Nnamdi Kanu so ka ife were ikwu na ụdị nke gị gbasata maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile okwu drọpụra ya na Eastern News 24 baba si wena wetara onye bụ ozi nkwozi dị oke mkpa mmanụ ka emesịa na ụmụnne m